गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः.
Good morning, students. So I am welcoming you for the second session, the first chapter, Fundamentals of Computers. In the first session, we have completed few contents and I am continuing the same thing. The last session I stopped at generations of computers. Now just I'll give you a brief idea of generations and I'll continue. So, electronic computers were introduced in 1940s. That we call it as first generation computers. There, for internal operations, vacuum tube technologies were used. These computers occupies lot of space and the heat generated is very much. The processing speed is very slow in this generation and cost effectiveness. So it is too costlier. So ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC like types of computers were introduced in this generation. Next, in the second generation, transistors are used for internal operations. Transistor technology is replaced to vacuum tubes, which is used in a first generation. So comparatively, transistor technology is bit more faster, acquires less space, it won't generate much heat while processing. So, some assembly level languages were used to give the instructions and high level languages used there are COBOL, Fortran, etc. Like I told you, COBOL means Common Business Oriented Language, Fortran, Formula Translation and so on. This type of languages were introduced in this generation. Next, we'll move on to third generation. It starts at 1964. The basic concepts of computers like integrated circuits were introduced in this generation. Transistors are replaced by ICs. The speed and accuracy level is increased to great extent here. The operating systems allows to process the data to solve any problem. Large scale integrations were used here. So, most of the peoples used computers in this generation. And next, the fourth generation computers. So, it starts at 1971. Microprocessors were used for internal operations. Thousands of ICs are used to make one single processor on a single silicon chip. Networking concepts were also introduced here. More number of computers are used. Transferring information from one system to another system is possible in this particular generation. So, this is the main thing where common peoples will also use computers. So, very large scale integration is also introduced here. It started in the third generation itself, but fourth generation, the common peoples will also use large number of computers and it's easy to access, comparatively lesser cost, so easy to access for the peoples. And next, fifth generation. So we can call it as present and beyond. Artificial intelligence were used here, robotic operations. Without human intervention, most of the job will be done in this particular thing. Now, still, lots of research is going on this. So, what I told in the beginning, nowadays we are mostly dependent on computers. Almost all, we cannot imagine our life without computers. And still further research is going on artificial intelligence too. This is what the generations of computers. Next slide, which starts with classifications of computers. So classification of computers is on two things. One is based on the operation, another is based on the configuration. Now let's start with classification on the principle of operation. See, based on the operation, computers are broadly classified into digital computers, analog computers and hybrid computers. First we'll start with digital computer. See, digital computer means digit. See, in the next chapter, that is in the second chapter, you are going to learn binary digits, base 2 system, zeros and ones, true or false conditions. There you will come to know how you can feed that character or any number type of data into the system, how it will convert into computer understandable format. So each and every process in this type of computer is in a bit by bit format. That is stop by stop process, non-continuous form of data. Each and every character, each and every number, that is we call it as a raw fact, will be carried into the processor with the help of ASCII values. ASCII means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII. I'll repeat again. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Based on this code, it's a standard code. Americans will found out this code. So from this code, we can convert high level language into machine level language, computer understandable language. So this digital type of computers will accept alphanumeric type of data from the users and convert it into computer understandable format, process it and gives the result in the form of output devices. It is a non-continuous form of data. Usually alphabets and numbers are used here. So to convert zeros and one, binary format will be preferred over here. Next, the second one is analog type of computers. See, analog computers are continuously monitoring signals. Generally, these computers are used for measuring like voltage, temperature, speedometer and so on. See, there the results always compared with the earlier one. That's why continuous monitoring signals are required. We cannot test it once and we cannot leave it another time. So continuously we have to monitor, like temperature. So we have to hold it continuously. Then only we'll get correct results over there. Such type of continuously monitoring signals type of computer are called analog computers. So this type of computers process continuously. Comparison is required. For each and everything we must compare. Whereas in case of digital computers, it's not like that. One digit is another from another digit. But here, continuously monitoring signals. We cannot stop. Continuously we have to check the data. So this is what analog type of computers. So in a vehicle, speedometer, continuously it has to monitor. There is no stop by stop process. So that is what analog type of computer. Next we'll move on to hybrid type of computers. Say hybrid means it is a combination of both digital and analog type of computers. Say digital computers process stop by stop process, whereas analog computers process continuously monitoring signals. Sometimes we need both the formats. That is what digital form and as well as analog form. So in such cases, we'll prefer a computer called as hybrid type of computers. Say in hybrid type of computers, it processes both digital and as well as analog forms. So here, we'll take an example of ECG machines. Say in case of ECG, say always data, it will be displayed in a continuous signal format and each and every step it has to display. So the continuous form of data is also required and digit type of data is also required. You would have seen ECG outputs. There digital form will also display, analog form will also come into existence over there. So that is what the computers which can perform both the operations of digital and as well as analog type of computers. These are the three types of computers which are categorized based on the principle of operation. One is digital, second one is analog, and the third one is hybrid. Digital computer operates on digital data, that is numbers, alphabets and so on. It uses binary number system, zeros and ones, called bits. Analog type of computers, continuously monitoring signals, and hybrid type of computers, it uses combination of both digital and as well as analog. So, as I told you, microcomputers are generally used in office and business applications. Here, desktop computers were also introduced. These microcomputers are desktop computers, even the laptops and other types of computers were introduced here. Generally, desktop computers used in the business area, and laptops are very easy to carry the system from one place to another place. So because of its storage capacity and battery backup, so even there is a power failure, we can use it. In the daily life applications nowadays, it plays major role. Now whatever the things we are learning through online classes, so for that generally we'll prefer this laptops. These are the advantages of microcomputers. With its enormous speed, it's very easy for us to carry the information from one to another. So, for business applications, we'll also use this type of computers, that is microcomputers. Next, we'll move on to mini computers. So, mini computers, introduced in 1960 itself. These are more powerful computers than PCs. So it executes 5 million instructions per second. We'll call it as MIPS. 5 million instructions per second. Generally used by small and medium-sized companies. See, these mini computers are very fast in processing. Lots of industries prefer this type of computers. These are all very powerful. Compared to the microcomputers, more powerful computers. It works very fastly. Companies with number of systems will prefer this type of computers. Next, we'll move on to mainframe computers. See, mainframe computers are very large and very powerful computers, generally used as server applications. See, in networking concepts, we have like client-server technology. We have two operating systems, that is one peer-to-peer network, another one is client-server network. When it comes to client-server network, so most of the clients send a request to the server. Server responds to the client's request. One main computer with large hard disk storage capacity, with maximum configuration, with high processing speed configuration. So that will be treated as a server, and the remaining computers are clients or nodes, we'll call it as. Any request from the node, automatically server responds to its client's request. So here, mainframe computers generally used as servers. It responds any request from the client within few seconds. So here, these computers acquires large space, process with a processing speed, but the processing speed is enormous here. It responds to the client's request at any moment of time. So this is what nearly 50,000 users can access the data from mainframe computers, that is servers. Up to 50,000 clients can send a request and it can communicate with the system. So server is capable of serving to that many number of computers in mainframe computers. So it executes around 16 MIPS, that is mega instructions per million instructions per second. So this is what mainframe computers for you. Next, supercomputers. It is the fastest and biggest computer, also very expensive. Supercomputers are very expensive. EKA was the fastest Indian supercomputer. It can process trillion IPS, instructions per second. It can process trillion IPS. So, it has very large storage capacity. I think you can understand. It works with very fast capacity. So, processing speed is very enormous. Supercomputers generally used for special purpose applications. So, the applications where and all will use these computers are weather forecasting, animated graphics, nuclear energy research, space and science, petroleum exploration, etc. Now we'll go for weather forecasting. See, nowadays, identifying the weather forecast is very easy with the help of these supercomputers. So easily we can understand how the weather forecast behaves on that particular day or in future too, coming days. So we'll get easily those ideas. Early days it is very difficult to predict for this. Nowadays it's very easy with the sophistication of these types of computers. And animated graphics. Very easy to understand the future things over here. We can generate future things before it happens. So that is possible with the help of animated graphics. So then, nuclear energy research. It plays major role in research industry and space science. So their accuracy is very important in space science. It works with greater accuracy, supports all our expectations, and will also use this in petroleum exploration and all. These are all the application areas where we'll use these supercomputers. Generally, it's a 5 marks question for you students. Applications or advantages of supercomputers. So you can write any 5 among this: weather forecasting, animated graphics, nuclear energy research, space science, petroleum exploration, and so on. And next slide, applications of computers. See, generally we'll use these computers everywhere throughout the world. I told you already, because of its speed, accuracy and storage capacity, we're using these computers everywhere in the world. So now, let's learn some few areas where generally most of the times we'll use these computers. Especially now in schools and colleges. So we know that now there is no offline class for us. We are doing only online classes. We can easily learn the concepts with the help of online classes by sitting at our home. So at our place, we can get an information very easily from our known teachers. Teachers communicate with the students very easily through online classes nowadays. See, schools, right from the admission procedure, right from the creation of school ID till completion of your course, each and every operation will be carried with the help of computers nowadays. See, you can generate your IDs, identifications. We can develop mascots through computers. We can take attendance in the computer system. Nowadays, recent technologies, with the help of webcams, easily we can recognize the student and automatically attendance will be generated over there. So you might have seen that biometric devices, face detection devices, with the help of those recognition devices, easily we can monitor whether the student attended the class or not. And developing or creating a mascot. See, even if you have latched to the number of students, within few minutes we can develop a mascot, mark statement with the help of computers. See, maintaining a student's details is very easy. At any moment of time, we can extract the particular student's data. Right from the first day when he entered to the class till the last day of his career in that particular school or college. So easily we can extract the data in this particular computer industry. So with the help of these computers, we can easily trace the students' information in schools and colleges. Even for the teachers, maintaining the students' details is very easy using these computers. And next thing is in banks. See, almost all the banks nowadays filled with computers, not human beings. In early days, we have seen that large volume of files will be stored in a bank. Only few people will be there in the banks. Nowadays, it's not like that. Manual work is reduced to large extent. Each and every process will be processed with the help of computers. So it can store large amount of data. Any customer to the bank easily process the data in bank with the help of computers. Say in banks, extraction of required data is very easy. See, first of all, right from the creating an account, so maintain the transactions, whatever we want in our daily life applications, and more importantly, transfer of funds. Nowadays, we'll prefer cashless transactions. So, we have heard that e-payments, e-cash, smart cash, and many more things. Easily, the transfer of funds, maintaining records is very good here. So many times, this transfer of funds is very easy with the help of computer technology. So alert messages are also easy. Once you transact any transactions in a bank, automatically alert message will come to your mobile. So you can see that what transaction has happened in your account, whether it is debited or credited like that. So immediately will come to know the transaction. If you have any disturbances in that particular transaction, directly you can approach the bank. Early days, you don't have such type of alert messages. So now it's an extra cushion for the customer to transact his account through banks. And maintaining an employee's details in bank is also very easy. Most advantage is online banking. So there, transaction from one bank to bank, core banking system is also very advantageous, and still many more advantages will be there in a bank industry. Next, we'll move on to office. See, in either it may be a government sector or it may be a private sector, everywhere office documentation is very important. So maintaining documentation is very easy with the help of introduction of these computers. See, letter correspondences. Once you develop any letter, you can take multiple copies of it. You can transfer the data from one place to another place with the help of networking technology. And something like maintaining employees' details. See, large volume of employees will be there in a company. Maintaining that many number of employees' details is a bit difficult. But with the help of computers, we can maintain each and every transaction, each and every function of that particular employee. Maintaining that information is also very easy. And main thing is auditing. So because of its accuracy, maintaining auditing is very easy. Developing balance sheets, budget management, and many more things. So for office automation, office advantages, whatever the operations we want, every process will be carried with the help of computers. So next we'll move on to stock exchange. Say it is used for online trading. Say stock exchange, each and every minute. So there the transaction is changes. So the trading is differs. While doing trading, each and every moment it will get changed. We can adjust to the change with the help of these computers. Say checking the stock, exchanging of information globally, exchanging of goods and services, everything is possible with the help of these computers. Next we'll move on to research and development. The new inventions are designed and implemented with the animated view. See, if we have a multimedia concept, it is very easy for us to understand. See, if you go for a movie, you can understand a movie very easily compared to the class, because there multimedia will act on your mind like that. So in research and development technology, with the help of multimedia concept, so animated views can be created. We can understand the concept very easily, and it helps in researching the most of the things. So there also it's very advantageous. Next we'll go for news. We know that nowadays we'll get an information within few seconds. That's possible only with the help of these computers. So whatever the facts will happen in all over the world, that will be reached the common people within fewer seconds with the help of networking and internet technology. These computers will give lot of advantages in this public medias. And next we'll go for hospital management. See, maintaining a patient's details is very difficult in early days. Nowadays it is very easy. Once you diagnose anything of a user, of a patient, it's easy to carry the information. So it is stored in an electronic media. Nobody can steal it. With the help of passwords you can protect it. So doctors can share their views and thoughts, and easy to give a treatment to the patients. So maintaining the patient's details, so maintaining the documentation in hospital, maintaining the employees working in that particular hospital, everything is possible with the help of these computers. See, documentation, maintaining a documentation is very difficult in early days. Nowadays, even if you can come after 5-10 years, easily you can search the information with the help of this computer storage capacity. Next, we'll move on to traffic network. It is used for transfer the information from one computer to another computer. See, normally computers prefers best pathway to transfer information from one place to another place. There are different types of communication modes were there here in computers. Simplex mode, off-duplex mode, and full duplex mode. There are plenty of modes are there. One-way transmission, multi-way transmission, and different types of transmission techniques were also there. Using these concepts, computer will transfer information in a best possible way to reach the common people from one place to another place. Still, we have many more advantages in computers, but this is enough for your syllabus. This is there in your syllabus too. These are all the application areas of computers. So this concludes the first chapter. So I'm going to repeat the same things again, right from the first thing. First of all, we'll start with fundamentals of computers, that is introduction, functional components of computers, evolutions of computers, generations of computers, classifications of computers, applications of computers. So I told you this chapter weighs 3 questions, around 8 marks. 1 question 1 mark, 1 mark question is 1, 2 marks question 1, and 5 marks question 1. Totally it weighs 8 marks. So definition, what is computer like that? It's an electronic device process the data according to instructions given to it. Then the characteristics of computers: speed, accuracy, storage capacity, diligence, cost effectiveness, and many more. Next, data and information. Data means collection of raw facts. Information is processed data. Next, hardware and software. The physical components of a computer system is called hardware. Set of instructions given to the computer called programs. The large program or lengthy programs also called as softwares. And next we'll learn actually functional components of computer system. So here the diagram shows you that how we can feed the information from input device, how processor will process the data, and finally how the results are generated and gives in the form of output devices. So here input devices are the devices which are used to transfer the information from user to system. Here most commonly used input devices are keyboard, mouse. These are also called as standard input devices. After transferring the data from input device, it will process in processor, that is CPU, central processing unit. It is the brain of computer system. The important components of CPU are ALU, CU, and memory unit. ALU means arithmetic logic unit. All arithmetical, logical operations will be carried in this device because it has to convert from one language to another. CU, control unit. It controls and coordinates the series of operations, internal and external operations of the computer system. Memory unit. It stores the information. It is an information storage device. We have two types of memory, primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory stores the data temporarily. Once a power failure or system shutdown, contents of that primary memory will be erased. Example for primary memory is ROM and RAM. Secondary memory is a permanent storage device. We can store large amount of data in secondary memory. So magnetic media are generally used in secondary storage and also optical media. Magnetic media devices are hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic tapes and so on. When it comes to optical media, CD-ROMs, DVD-ROMs, Blu-ray discs are also used. So this is the secondary storage devices. But the speed of processing is bit slow compared to primary memory. So primary memory is also called as main memory. And after processing and storage, the obtained results, the generated results are given to the people with the help of output devices. The devices which are used to give the result to the common people is called output devices. Generally used output device is monitor. Sometimes we'll also use printers too. So monitor is a standard output device used to take soft copies. It is also called as visual display unit. So whatever the information we are getting through this device can be changeable, editable. That's why it is called as soft copy. Different types of monitors were there. Early days it has introduced as CRT, cathode ray tubes. Now LED monitors were introduced, light emitting diodes. Before that TFT, thin film transistors were used, and LCD monitors were also introduced, that's liquid crystal display monitors, and many more. The sizes starts from 12 inches to 21 inches, it differs. With the help of AGP card, accelerated graphics board, we can still enhance the screen width. Next, printers. Printer is also an output device used to take hard copies. Different types of printers were there that I'll explain in the next class, that is input output devices class. Next, evolutions of computers. So computers were introduced right from the PCs before Christ. Abacus 2500 BC itself we introduced calculating machine used for counting purpose. Next, Napier bones were introduced in 1614 AD. Pascaline computers were come into existence. Leibniz calculators were introduced. Jacques Looms created first read-only memory. Charles Babbage, called as father of computer, he gave basic principles for development of modern computers. Lady Ada Lovelace developed an algorithm, then it is converted into a program. That's why she is also called as first programmer. And Hellred tableting machines were also introduced in 1890 AD. It's an electronic counting device. Then generations were come into existence, like we classified different generations right from 1942 till now. So first generation computers used vacuum tube technology. Second generation computers replaced by transistors for internal operations. And third generation computers used integrated circuits. Transistors are replaced by integrated circuits. And fourth generation computers used microprocessor technology. Thousands of ICs are used to develop single silicon chip here. Many micro mainframe computers were come into existence here. Fifth generation computers present and beyond, artificial intelligence is used here. Robotic operations will be performed here. And classifications of computers. These computers are classified based on the operation and configuration. Based on operations, digital, analog and hybrid computers were introduced. Digital computers process stop by stop. Analog computers processed continuously monitoring signals. And hybrid computers were used both digital and analog type of data. Next, computers are classified based on its configuration. Microcomputers were introduced in early 1970s. These are also called as personal computers. Desktop computers and laptops were also introduced here. Many computers come into existence in 1960s. These are all powerful computers. Generally executes 5 million instructions per second. Mainframe computers were introduced in 1975. Generally, these mainframe computers used as servers in client-server technology. Server responds to the client's request. And supercomputers were introduced in 1980s. Supercomputers works very faster. This is the very high-speed computers used in all over the world. Generally, these supercomputers were used for weather forecasting, animated graphics, nuclear energy and research, space science, petroleum exploration and so on. Next, where we use these computers, that is applications of computers, schools and colleges, banks, office, stock exchange, research and development, news technology, hospitals and hospital management, traffic network and many more application areas. So everywhere we'll use these computers. Nowadays we can also include home too, because in each and every house, most of the people is using computers nowadays. So thank you one and all. This is the first chapter. So I will also give you questions on this particular chapter. So most expectable questions. I'll give you these questions. Please try to answer for all these questions. The slides are generated to help you out to develop a notes. This is just like a notes for you. I haven't inserted any images over here because it may lead confusion for you students. So to help you out, I created slides in such a way that it will be just like your notes. Make a note of these slides. It will help you for answering the questions. Thank you one and all. Namaskara.